close my eyes and go to sleep, need to feel your heartbeat next to me. Close to you is right where I belong. Only there am I at home. It's your heartbeat that will find me. Still in love with you. Heartbeat, that's where I'll be. Quiet storm, I lay captured by your heartbeat song. Next to you is right where I belong. Only then am I at home. It's your heartbeat that will find me. Still in love with you. Heartbeat, that's where I'll be. Still in love with you. Heartbeat.
And tonight on the No BSDUO Show, we have the heartbeat of Mr. J. Trees himself, and he's going to come and talk to us tonight. So coming now to the platform, we have Mr. J. Trees, and we also have Mr. Will Frazier as we come together and talk to Mr. J in regards to his heartbeat with love. Hello, fellas. How are you?
Hello, sister. Beautiful day. Yes. Mr. Trees, how are you?
Let me hear it. There we go. Hello, Mr. Trees. How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We doing wonderful.
So, I believe the word was it's hot is the
Yeah.
day for a
It's a
hot,
hot day.
long-awaiting interview. And this was a hot subject to talk about tonight. Long awaiting. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So how are
Yes.
you feeling down here?
It's a hot one
Now,
today.
you know
but
it's not
it's
fair.
good.
But you know it's not fair because you got your hat on. And everybody know how I feel about hats.
She gotta wear one.
How
She
you
gotta
didn't
have one.
how you didn't warn me.
No, I did warn you. I told when I talked to you before. I told you. I said, well, everybody don't know my real name is Joel. The J stands for Joel and J Trees. I said, and when I come on, I got to come on as J Trees, not Joel. So I'm in J Trees mode.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Let me see. I think I'm gonna have to use my hair as my hat to dye. Because it's just too hot. It's too hot. Too hot, too hot, too hot. So again, welcome to the No BS Duo Show, and congratulations, you are the winner of the AMJ Entertainment video.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I understand that's not the only thing we need to be congratulating you on. And some of you may not know Mr. Joel Trees because he is very well known in the UK. So we need to bring him back to the USA because you got some nice stuff, especially that heartbeat. And you know, the one about tonight just makes me show my dimples, and I don't have none.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of something overseas.
Okay, so tell us about these newfound awards. I believe we need to talk about, right?
Yeah, I was nominated. It's called the ISSA, which is the International Singer Songwriters Award. I'm up for. I was up for Writer of the Year, Single of the Year for Heartbeat, and Album of the Year for my album With Love.
Wow! Congratulations!
Thank you.
Look like your album gave you a lot of love back.
Yeah, it surprised me considering this album wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be for somebody else. And then I said, you know what, let me go ahead and finally do a solo project. And that's how it started. And it's been running ever since then.
Oh. Yeah, talking about them accidents, right? Like quarantine 2020 was a major accident. But turned around to be something good. And as a matter of fact, that's how this platform came to be. It was due to quarantine. And all of y'all already know the story, so we don't have to talk about it again. But we really, really love to talk about you and this album With Love. So can you break this love down for me? Because there was a lot of love going on.
Well, the title track itself, With Love, I'm trying to think of a short way to get into it. Well, what happened with it was I was watching the news, and the person that's occupying the White House said something crazy, and I didn't agree with what he said, and it made me sit down and write the song With Love. And the song With Love, what it says in the song, like the hook of the song says, "Open your mind, let your heart be free. You do you while I do me. Don't worry about what may be, because we found love, baby." Basically, it's about everybody coming together and taking the country back over with love, and that's how that came about. And it's been rolling ever since then. It's been a, I want to say, roller coaster, because at one point in time it slowed down, but then it picked back up, and it's been doing really good. And I can't be happier for something that wasn't supposed to be, because this whole album actually was supposed to be for someone else. I'd done the song Tonight, which you were talking about. I wrote it. Well, I did the music for a buddy of mine, and told him that he was putting the song out, and he listened to it and said, no, you put it out. So I thought about it, and I went ahead and put it out for me, and people responded to it. And after a few months went by, they started asking if I had any other music. I ended up sitting around going, you know what, maybe I need to do some more. So I started writing more, and came out with a second single, which is the song Because I'm Happy. That did really well. They asked for more, so then I said, you know what, let me do an album. So I ended up doing an album, the album With Love, which is right now available everywhere, all your digital platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your music, it's available all over the place.
Got it. And we were just educated to the platforms, because we were informed that with the platforms, we are so used to using Spotify, but Spotify, it's good, but that's not how you guys really get the money according to the work that you've been provided. So it's best for us to go to the actual bigger platforms such as iTunes and Apple, etc.
Well, actually, the best place to get titles good too. The best place to get it for the artist to get more money than they would get through Apple and all the other places is, like myself. I have it's called Bandcamp. J Trees at Bandcamp. Bandcamp pays the artist more than what these other ones would.
I heard of that. They're real good. I heard of that. Yeah, they're real good.
Bandcamp. So how would anybody get onto Bandcamp? Like, is that a part of the UK part of it, or is this USA too?
It's worldwide. You just put in the artist. Well, you can just go under Bandcamp Camp, C-A-M-P. You go into Bandcamp, and then once you get there, they have a search bar. You put in the artist you're looking for, and it'll bring up that artist's work.
Wow.
And then you can buy directly from the artist.
That's what's up.
Nice. So there you have it, Bandcamp. See, you have to excuse me. So tonight I decided that since you putting us in that mode, and it's about a tonight Terry, I figure I have a little night thing going on over here. So, yeah,
We all got a little night thing going on.
that's how we gonna do this thing tonight. But talking about tonight, you are seductive like somebody else I know, and I hear that is your favorite artist.
Which one is that? Because I have a couple.
Well, I believe he has something to do with that purple hat you got on.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge Prince fan. Believe it or not, just to get into that, I was actually a bigger Michael Jackson fan than I was a Prince fan. I got into Prince later. Matter of fact, in my studio to get me where I need to be. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that big poster of Mike.
Yeah, and I got Prince in there too. So that's my motivation when I. Yeah, there was a picture of me in a way. So let me do it one more time. There it is.
Okay.
And that's right in front of my keyboard. So once I start writing, anyway, I grew up listening to Michael Jackson and Prince. And Prince, as far as musicianship, there was none better. But anyway, as far as seduction or whatever you want to call it, to me, R&B right now isn't the R&B I grew up on. It's taken a left or right turn. It's more hip hop. Yeah, it's more hip hop oriented. The R&B that I grew up on, there was I guess you say there was an art of seduction in it. Now is just straight to the point. They don't leave anything for mystery, or as they say, there's no foreplay in it. It's just straight to the action.
Just hit it.
Yep,
you know what, sis? You know what, sis? It sounds like R&B met the 2 Live crew and just went straight there.
Exactly. So I grew up listening to R&B that would get the people in the mood. So that's what I put into my music, and then I also grew up listening to every other type of music there was also. So I ended up blending that in to the R&B. I lived overseas for a little while, so I listened to all kinds of music over there. So I blend that into my music. So I end up incorporating all of this to come up to what I have. And then my influences, as far as Michael Jackson, Prince, Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder. More recently, it's not really more recently, but Maxwell, Neo, people like that actually I feel that do real R&B. Anthony Hamilton, those type of people, and I try to incorporate that in my music. Even David Bowie.
You talk about them ready makers, Wait a
minute. What did you say, David Bowie?
Even David Bowie. Like I said, I listen to a little bit of everything.
Let me ask you a question. You just said David Bowie. I want to ask you a quick question. You mentioned something about overseas, the UK. A lot of artists, when they, I guess, hit their prime in America, a lot of them go to overseas and tour for years and years. Even Michael Jackson, he is big before he came to America. He toured a lot overseas, and Bobby Brown and Prince and all that. Do you feel that the overseas audience is more appreciative? I'm sorry, Public Enemy, they also do a lot of shows overseas. Do you feel that the overseas audience is a little bit more, I would say, appreciative of traditional R&B, any type of music, as opposed to America?
Yeah, and what it is that here in America, once there's this is my philosophy on this. There's a cycle of they like rotate who's hot for a few years, and then they move on to the next person. So if you're not part of that mainstream and you so to say shot your shot or shoot your shot or whatever you want to call it, and you're no longer that number one, you get overlooked. Overseas, they'll just continuously listen to you. A prime example is, like I said, if you're not part of the mainstream, you get looked over. The Europeans, they will go online trying to find new music, good music. Here, you have to be somebody that's constantly on YouTube, TikTok, these other platforms that put you out front. And even then, America gets bored of you within 2 or 3 years, or maybe 4 years, and then next thing you know, the next person comes along and they forget about you. Look at Nicki Minaj. She was hot for a minute. Next thing you know, Carly B knocked her out, and now, but somebody's gonna come knock Carly B out? So it's just that rotation that happens.
Says she want to do a disclaimer about American music.
Which disclaimer about the American music?
No. I was asking my sister, and you want to say your opinion about American music, how it's changed and stuff like that. It's just not the same, in my opinion.
I wouldn't say that it's not the same. I understand the rotation, and I wouldn't say that the Americans don't appreciate it. I think it's just the mere fact that Americans don't know about it. And I believe now, today, they're starting to learn more about it because, we have platforms like this that's coming around and letting everyone know that, this is why you didn't know me, or this is why I was over there. But the only problem with that is they didn't know that we didn't know, and it's like now, sudden it's like everybody know.
Yeah, what I've come to find out, there's the overseas market. There's a better market or a bigger market for independent artists than it is here.
Yes,
and that's what it is. Independent artists can have more of a success over there than here. But on the flip side of that, there is a bunch of independent artists that are rappers that I've never heard of that are. You'll see them online with showing all this money. Like, where did they get this money? I don't know who this person is. So there's an underground for hip hop that does fairly well. But when it comes to R&B, no.
I think it's because they tried to bury us.
Well, what it is, the platform of music has shifted. It's changed.
It has, totally.
Country music. If you listen to country music, it's more like pop music now.
Yeah.
Pop music is more like our bubblegum R&B, and then R&B is more like hip hop. So, like I said, it's all shifted. The song that you played, Heartbeat, when I put it out, I'm thinking straight R&B. When I put it out, next thing I know, they kept sticking it in smooth jazz, and I'm like, this isn't smooth jazz. But so everything is shifted.
And it's not fair because you don't get the opportunity to say what category you fit in. Like, I remember Whitney Houston ran into that problem. The late Whitney, because she went and she said this was her gospel CD, and it was like, no, it was a Christmas CD. And so she had to end up trying to make a gospel CD because she wanted it to fit in the gospel CD category. And it was like, no. And it's like the USA have that boundary. And so when you go over UK don't have that boundary, so you can rotate. And I can see why Tina decided that she wanted to stay over there, because they loved her, because they didn't hold no boundaries on her. But
well, another person, the group right here from Baltimore, Drew Hill, everybody's like, Drew Hill, they're dead. They don't do anything. They're huge overseas. They're doing shows all the time overseas.
Go ahead.
It's just funny because you were saying that you were a writer. So who else did you write for?
I'm actually, like I said, my friend Jesse, I'm writing for him. I have an artist named Tanya that lives in Belgium. I'm helping her produce her album. I'm writing for her. I have a young lady here in Maryland named Yolanda. I'm writing for her also. And I have some other people that I'm doing some things for.
So how long you been in this game?
For a minute. I've been in it for a minute, but I was always growing up. I was in bands and sang in groups and stuff like that. Then I DJ'd for a little while.
All right.
Then I came when I got back to the States from Germany. I started singing with a group, and then when we finished that thing, I ended up managing groups. I managed a rock band. I managed a rapper. My artist in Belgium, I was managing her, and it just so happens that I got tired of going back and forth to different studios. So I did opened up put together a pre-production studio at my house, and I got back into just doing the stuff for myself, and that's how it all came about.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Where
what?
we are now.
You know what? On the last thing about the UK, I was about ready to say that with musical styles, I don't know. Well, we were little kids then. Remember in '79 when disco was dying? Well, supposedly died. And it actually it ran its course in America, as we all know. And then overseas, groups like Casey and Sunshine Band and all that stuff like that, it was still hot overseas. But when the techno, I guess the techno early '80s and stuff like that, you had groups like Duran Duran, David Bowie. You know, David Bowie's Let's Dance album was produced by Nile Rodgers, who produced
Bob
Chic,
Rogers,
which disco and all that. When I think the Duran Duran was like, we were influenced by Chic and all that. This was '82, '83. We were like, wait a minute, disco is played out over here. But over there, it was an influence. And, you know, like you said, it's when America runs its course and it goes overseas picks it up. And then we get new groups that come out of that. And then they just giving us back what we said is, you know, we're no longer need. But to us, it's like fresh and new. So
yeah, the disco or dance stuff is still huge over in the UK. They're still doing it. I have a song on my album called "Keep Doing What You Do" that has that feel to it, and they love it. I just did a remix for it that I'm going to release over there within the next couple weeks, and another song called "Starlight," which is strictly disco / dance type stuff that, like I said, they still play over there, and they have a lot of radio stations that play nothing but that type of stuff.
Well, you know, it may get better now due to quarantine has happened, and we're now getting a chance to find out about independent artists and their music, and finding out, you know, songs that we're hearing. Like, well, where are you been and where you come from? Like, you didn't know about me? Like, no. What about this one? And they playing a song. We're like, oh, we like that too. So I think you know, things may start changing for us now, especially for independent artists. But speaking of that.
This goes one quick thing that what the UK is doing, bringing stuff back. The vinyl records are coming back thanks to the UK.
I heard. Yeah,
people a lot of artists are getting stuff pressed now and on records on vinyl because it's a big thing overseas, and it's slowly leaking over here.
Well, Mr. Treese, I hope they bring back the real DJs. Not the new ones with the computer. I'm talking about the ones where you carry the crates and all that stuff. Bring that back. Bring the Jam Master J's back, and we be all right.
Hey, you still got Jazzy Jeff still sitting around doing stuff. So.
Oh yeah, he's still he's making and breaking. He's moving. He's shuffling. He's really shuffling. He's really going to come back. He's really supporting the name of being the Magnificent, and people are really about to find out just how magnificent he is.
Yes, he is.
Talking about being magnificent, like how did this impact turn for you? Because it seems like you were starting to build things and moving things and creating things, and now you're going to be needing your own little manager soon. So how did this happen to you? You know, how is right now working out for you?
Well, COVID, two ways it helped me out. One, I was able to sit down and write more music. One. Two, the way it hurt me was, like you said, I'd done a show in Atlanta. I'd done a couple shows, Atlanta, Arkansas, a couple of them here in Maryland. I was supposed to do one in Philly. I was supposed to go back to Atlanta and do another one, and then COVID hit. So that brought everything to a screeching halt. But like I said, it helped me as far as writing and putting out new music. And as far as a manager, actually, it helped me in that aspect too. I'm waiting on the contract to come to me, but I've signed with a company called Stage Road International, which is out of Germany. And they're going to be promoting all my stuff and have me doing once this is lifted. They already got me booked for a couple different festivals in Germany next year. So it's giving me time to get stuff together.
Wow. Congratulations to that. Because I know the last time we were talking, you were talking about you was going to need a manager.
Yeah. and it happened. It happened. The person sent me, shout out to Nick. Nick sent me the contract. I looked it over, told him what I liked, what I didn't like, asked him to change a couple things, sent it back to him. They're changing it. I'm just waiting for it to come in the mail for me to sign, but everything is worked out.
Well, congratulations to you. So
thank you.
As we could all say, quarantine, even though as bad as it was, it really, they had some moments where it was a blessing.
Correct. Yes, I know a lot of producers that had nothing but time on their hands to do nothing but do music. Right, so right. It helped a lot of people. They couldn't say I got to do this, I got to go do that. You couldn't do anything. So only thing they could do is sit at home and write or make new music.
Talking about making new music, I think I didn't got to do what I promised myself that I was going to be able to do. And I think I saw it 3 times. You tried to hide it.
What was that?
That smile that you promised.
Smile? Yeah. I told you. A karate man smile on the inside.
No. We're not a karate man right now. I got it again. Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you this is the hardest smiling man I know, he's the smallest, hardest man I know. But
I just don't smile in pictures, but I smile.
Well, I understand that. So tell us more about the man, Mr. J Trees. Can we find out more about him and how did you get into this business?
I started when I was a kid. I was probably like 9 years old. Started playing saxophone. Sang in the choir and the chorus and all that, played in the school bands, even put together some bands and things. Are we there?
Yes, we're here.
Okay. All right. It looked like my picture froze. I put together some bands as a kid, and then when I was in the military, when I was in the military, I ended up singing in groups and bands with them, and then got out. Stayed in Europe, still did music over there. I did a lot of stuff with a bunch of different people. I met a whole lot of people that, speaking of people breaking overseas and then coming here, I met a lot of artists that end up being well-known artists over there that no one knew who they were here. And then a couple years later, I'm looking going, oh my God, he made it. People like that. Then, like I said, came back to the States and ended up in a group called Mirror Mirror. We put out a song called Heartbeat, which did really, really well. No, I'm sorry, not Heartbeat. Put out a song called Up and Down, and it did really well. And now I'm finally doing a solo thing. I had never done a solo project, and that's what I'm doing now.
How you loving it? Are you loving it, or you prefer writing it?
It's a little of both. I mean, I love it. It's become that's one reason I'm glad I got a manager, because I said to myself, when it starts to look like work or become work or feel like work, then I got to stop. I didn't get into this for the work aspect of it or the money or fame aspect of it. Those things come, great. If they don't, I really didn't care, because I was doing it for the love of music. Mm-hmm. If 2 people bought my records, good. If 200 million bought my records, it would be the same to me. I do it for the love of the music. So,
that reminds me of the post that I wrote today. I've been saying it for a while now, and it was morely like, what are you doing it for? And I think quarantine helped me to see the reason why people were doing what they were doing, or how they were doing what they were doing, and the reason behind it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that it was more so kind of like a cleansing, because it kind of made you wonder, why are you doing it? And like you said, when it becomes a job, it's not fun anymore, because you get the boundaries.
Yeah.
And so,
but that was one of the reasons. At one point in time, I was not that it was brought to me, but I was kind of hesitant in signing with the major label. I liked what I was doing as far as independent artist, and I could put out what I wanted to put out when I want to put it out. I was the first and the last voice say so on what I was going to do. Now with my man Nick, who's my manager, they're looking at trying to get me signed to Sony. So now I gotta change my aspect or my focus on how I do things, and just because I'm so used to doing everything myself and being in charge of everything. So now I got to make sure I have to take a step back and let him handle what he's supposed to handle, so I can just concentrate on the music. But I know it's going to be a hard thing to do.
So that's interesting. That's very interesting, because I've heard that it has its perks being signed, but then it has its perks being independent. So like that boundary for you, like you said, you can do whatever you want to do independent. You didn't wait. And then it's like who you know, what you know, and they decide when to decide and where to go and when it's going to go and how it's going to go out and etc. So it's like it really puts you in a bad realm. Like it kind of makes
you got to be, now I have to be more, not saying I wasn't business before, but the business was me. It was all on me. So now I have to be more business, I don't say business savvy, but I have to be more business-like and listen to what they tell me. They were giving me a deadline saying that everything, they want this album out by such a date. Now I have a deadline. Before I was making the deadlines.
Right.
So I didn't have to abide by anybody's rules but my own. The only good thing is right now that with the quarantine, I've written so much music. They can say that if they want. I have enough music right now for probably 2 to 3 albums right now.
Okay.
So it's good for me right now, but down the road it may be an issue. But we'll see. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Right now things are in the works, so it may not come to that point. It may come to the point that I stay independent and have major distribution through a company that just helps me put my music out, which would be ideal for me, because then I still answer to me. So, but we'll see.
So how does that work? Because I know there's a lot of artists out there that wants to know how to continue to stay there and still have that benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting. There's you can get a bunch of companies to have CD Baby, Disco. I think it's called Disc Kid or Kid, something like that. Distro Kid, that they will do distribution for you, but it's on a different scale. If I'm going to get distribution the way I'm talking, what happens is they would come up with the money to put it out. It's more money in it the way I'm talking about doing it. But there's ways to get that. If you're showing that you can push a certain amount of units, and you have the music that they think that they can get more bang for their buck, they will put that money up for you to make sure it gets in the right hands as far as the public and the promotions and everything like that. But it's just a matter of keep pushing away and not taking no for an answer and keep doing it. But it's like I said, there's so many different ways on the internet you can find to put out your music that you don't need major labels. And even with the major labels, a lot of them at one point in time, the labels would groom you to be an artist. They would do certain things. If you look at the old blueprint from Motown, how they did the Jacksons, the Jackson 5, and how they groomed them and this, that, and this. Labels don't do that anymore. They want you to come there with the audience, already with a track record. So the only thing they have to do is press the CDs or put the music out, and that's it. They don't have to do anything else.
You know, Mr. Treese, it's sad. It's sad that record companies are like that now. And I do apologize to both of you. My phone kind of got a little crazy. I'm sorry about that, sis.
No problem.
A lot of, it used to be an old joke that record companies was better ran when the mob ran. And it's an old joke because at least back then they put the time and effort and all that behind an artist. Even in the 70s and early 80s, they put the time and money behind an artist, and they took the time to groom you. Now, just like you said, you got to come in with at least 500,000 views, and you got to come in with the audience and all that stuff like that. So all they got to do is just be like, we like it, we'll sign you, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And I think that's cheating because the record companies still get more of the pie than what you get, and you're the one that did all the hard work and hustle. I mean,
Exactly.
do you think that's fair?
They're going to want, and they're going to want part of your publishing too. And they didn't they didn't play one note on the song, but they're going to want part of your publishing. So it's crazy.
Explain to people, because some people don't know what the 360 deal is. Because some people you hear people say 360 deal. Explain to the people what the 360 deal is, how that type of deal works.
I'm trying to think how to put it to simplify it.
Break it down.
The easiest way to explain it is everything looks good up front, but in the back end, and I don't want to use the word raping you, but that's what they're doing. They're taking everything. They're getting a lot of your publishing. They're getting a percentage of what you sell. They're like I said, they're getting the bulk of the pie instead of the artist. That's the easiest way to explain it. They'll put all this fancy stuff in front of you, all the glitter and all that in front of you, but the meat of what they're going to make is in the back end, and they're getting that.
And a lot of people, like I said, when 360 came out, everybody, like you said, everybody thought that was such a good deal, but it's basically the same old thing. They just jazz it up a little bit. Yeah,
and what they do is that one of the back in the day, they still may do it now, I'm not sure. They would give the artist, they'll here, you like that watch? You like that Rolex? Here's a Rolex. Oh, you like that car?
God.
Here's this car. They'll do all this stuff, and then next thing you know, you put the song out, and you're thinking you're doing all this, and you're making all this money in your mind because you sold all these records. Next thing you know, they'll say, okay, here's payday. All right, so that Rolex was $150,000. That car was $200,000, and they take all that out of that gross of what you sold. And next thing you know, you're sitting there with a check for $2,500, and you done sold 10 million copies.
That sounds like the artist George McCrae. I know you heard him back in the day. Since you heard of him, he had that song called "Rocket Baby." It was like #1 all over Europe, America. I mean, it sold like tons and tons and tons of records. And it's a book called Hitman. I don't know if you heard of that book, but a book called Hitman. And what had happened, he wanted his royalties, just like you just mentioned. And the owner, they called him the Colonel, who ran TK Records. Yes, I put it there. And he went into his office. He had his gun, and he said, "Yo, man, where's my money at?" And by this time, this guy owed him lots of money. So he did the whoop-de-whoop. He said, "Take your hand, reach it in my pocket, take out, and what you take out, you can have." So he reached in his pocket, took out a wad of money, and then he reached back in the other pocket and took out a Cadillac. He said, "You see that Cadillac out there? It's yours. You know what I mean? We're going to get you your money, but look how much what I gave you so far." He's so good that he got that, but he still didn't get anything. That's the old whoop-de-whoop.
Yeah, like I said, they blind you with the glitter, and you don't see the other stuff, and you just see with it. The same thing happened to TLC
and Death Row Records and Death Row Suge Knight.
You know what's crazy with Death Row? I used to manage a rap group. These two white guys named Dirty Slang, and I was pushing their music all over the place. And one of the responses I got back, and I have it still here to this day, is a response from Death Row from Suge Knight wanting my guys.
Oh, God.
I looked at the letter, saw his signature on it. I was like, nope.
Mr. Trees, you see my sister's eyes? Did you see my sister's eyes? Her glasses went up like, you got a response from who?
Yeah.
She looking down like, from who?
I have the letter here, and I did not respond back. I did not respond back.
Well, it's just amazing. A lot of people say that, and then coming up on the feed, a lot of people saying they didn't know that. But when we started hearing the different stories about the Clark sisters, and then you hear the story about the Jacksons, then you hear the story about New Edition, then you hear your story, and then you hear how, and then not only that, the I like to call them the quarantine DJs are now feeling the brunt of it. Hey, I'm the phone DJ, and I feel the brunt of it. Even being here on this show, you feel the brunt of it because of the rights and the copyright. Because they're like, yo, wait a minute, we want our money. Because any other time, they would get money for their music, your music being played, and you would not be able to get it. Like, for example, just hypothetically, the song is worth $10 a play, but you only get $2 of it.
Correct.
But now it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, and we playing them on our playlists and we're running them. And they're like, no, I need the money for every time she play that list, and every time she repeats that list, and every time somebody open up that playlist, I need that money. But they're not getting it. So now they're blocking us and they're stopping us. And what's even more funnier is now the UK is getting a part of it, because they don't want, if you make a record over the UK now, they can ban your music from playing over the UK because you have authorizations about that. You know anything about that?
That one I don't know about. I know the other part that you were speaking about, because prime example, I was in my studio doing some music, and I went on Facebook Live, and someone brought up something, and I ended up pulling up some old song. I can't remember what the song by Peter Brown, "Dance with Me," because I thought about doing a remix of it.
Classic.
Yeah. I thought about doing a remix of it, and I started playing it, and then people said, "What about this song?" And then next thing I went through, found other songs. I started playing all these other songs. Next thing I know, like a couple weeks went by, I ended up getting an email from Facebook saying that they were muting part of my feed because I played this and Warner Brothers and blah 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 blah. So what happens is, come to find out, what you have to do, and you get the DJs that DJ on Facebook, they play if you watch, they only play a certain length of a song, and then they cut to another song, so they won't get that from Facebook and Warner Brothers or whoever saying that you copyright infringement and all that. So it's crazy.
I did my homework. It's about 27 seconds to 32 seconds of a song you can play without Facebook cutting you. And it depends on what the song is, because if the song is popular as, for example, Beauty's Only Skin Deep or My Girl, it doesn't even matter how many minutes it is or seconds. YouTube will cut it off.
You know, it was crazy because I had a friend of mine that has his own show, something like you guys, and I gave him one. I think it was the song Tonight. This was a couple months ago, but I think what he did was he went through. I sent him a link for YouTube. I think he went through YouTube and played it. They sent him a thing about copyright infringement.
Yes.
And I was like, he's like, Joel, what can you do? I was like, I said, it's my first time seeing him doing that, but I realized it was because it went through YouTube instead of him just playing it himself. They got him on that.
Either way, you got to dispute, and you got to dispute, which, you know, I appreciate my representative I have, because I also am a walking actress. And Carla Robinson from the Go Kart Productions, she wrote a skit that I was a part of, and she talked about the different ways of how they will stop us from doing things or not allow us to do things with paperwork. And there's music and shows that we have done, and we've been airing since April, that I am still fighting them to open and release, because every time somebody copies it, every time somebody replays it, or every time somebody sends it back onto Facebook, they block it again.
Yep.
So it's like every time they block it again, then I have to now fight with Facebook again to now try to get them to override it, per the copyright of Fair Act 1976. And then they want you to go into detail after they tell you, well, I don't care about Fair Act. It's still no. And then you got to say, well, why was it educational? Or why did you feel it was Fair Act? And I'm like, are you serious? But because we're determined to give you the offering that you deserve, we fight it. And but it's a fight that we're fighting. Hopefully soon, we'll be able to come to the table and they'll do something about it. But I keep saying, be careful what you ask for, because I don't know if we're going to be able to afford what they're going to want to bring.
The technology is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
That's so cool. My sister, Mr. Treese, had educated me on the new laws, I guess, of Facebook, because I was doing a little show, on the weekends, and I'm type of person. And I used to do the radio, stuff like that. We got to play the whole song or, sometimes into the next song. But exactly what she said, when I do here's the funny thing. We did a show, just a pickup show on Instagram, right? And we played music, we clowning around, having a good time. Everybody when we went live, they seen it. But when we went to play it again on Instagram, no deal, no dice. And it's crazy. It's crazy how, like my sister explained, how these laws are. It will, like she said, you got to be careful for what you ask for, because Facebook and them will be slick, will be like, okay, all right, fine. They want to play music, not a problem. Here's the rates you're going to have to play the music on. And even with that being said, who says that the artists, the songwriters, and even the record companies, which again, my sister educates me on, who says they're going to get the bigger pie? Facebook is going to get that big pie. And then everybody else will get the pennies. Do you feel that'll be the way it'll go if that happens?
No, actually, Facebook is not going to get the pie, because Facebook is the one that's getting killed right now, because because of the copyright, because now the companies want to sue Facebook.
So for letting it air. Yeah, letting it air. But so another prime example with how this is what's with all the streaming and all the other stuff. One of the biggest songs that have been made, because was it Happy by Pharrell? 20, 30 million streams, this and this. His first check for that was $2,500. Yeah, $2,500 for like 20 million streams.
But that's crazy. So, like a penny, a stream.
Yeah, if you look it up, it's out there. If you look it up, if you Google it, you'll see he got robbed because of the streaming, the way they pay with streaming.
Oh my God!
And it's unfortunate, because people sit back and be like, "That's not fair. That's not fair." And when you think about it, you're like, "It's not that it's not unfair. It's the rule. It's the game that they play."
It's the way that the streaming people are doing. That's why Jay-Z and them came up with Tidal, was because of what was going on with Spotify and Rhapsody, all these streaming places. They were robbing the artists. They were taking, for example, like my song Heartbeat, you can buy it for 99 cents. Out of that 99 cents, I may get half a cent out of the 99 cents.
That's crazy.
Well, streaming wise, I'm totally wrong. I'm wrong. You can buy for 99 cents. Streaming, they'll give me a half a cent or a cent from streaming, and they may keep 4 or 5 cents or a dime and give me half a cent. So it's crazy the way they do it, and they're making all this money, and the artist isn't making anything.
And that's why I kept saying, everybody that left to go and do their own independent radio shows, they're still not helping nobody but the companies, because they're buying these copyrights, and the money that they're doing for the copyrights is just so they can do what they're familiar with doing, but it's still not benefiting nobody. So why are you doing something when the people are not benefited? That's my whole thing. And so I'll stick the disclaimer out there, because I didn't say it. It didn't have anything that really applied to it until now. Just because I said it, don't mean that it's your truth or your story. It's just how I feel about it. So by that being said, that's just how I feel about it. I'm not saying that anybody else have to agree with me, but after really sitting there and really looking more and more and more into music and what's going on, it's like, there has to be another way that we could save and help our entertainers. That's why, if anybody ever notice that follows me, I always say, if you see an entertainer, love up on that entertainer that entertained you, because that was their job, was to entertain you. That was their job. And now nobody's working, so there's no love. So because they helped you, help them. And somebody actually gave me an argument, and I had a good argument, and we agreed to disagree before the night was out. But I said, they helped you over that heartbreak. They helped you get that boyfriend. They helped you get that girlfriend. They helped y'all that night. They helped y'all that morning. So, you know, they helped you over your situations, whatever it be. Like, they motivated you, they inspired you, they empowered you. Like, like you mentioned Happy. Let me tell you a quick story about Happy. I broke my ankle in 3 places. Now, everybody that knows me knows that I wear my 5-inch heels, 4-inch heels. But I cannot walk in flats. I trip and hurt myself in flats, in which I did. I didn't have no shoes on, fell down the steps. Now, normally I fall down the steps, same fall, I land on my feet because I'm a cat. But this time, broke my ankle in 3 places. And everybody that knows me knows I dance. That's all I do. I dance, I dance, I dance. If I can't dance to it, something's wrong. I got to be able to do something. It got to touch my soul. But everybody was teasing me because they were like, "Oh, you can't dance now. You only got 1 limb." I'm like, "That's all right. I got 3 limbs. I can hold on and I can shake with the other leg." And it took the song "Happy" to get me motivated back for therapy because I became discouraged. And because I was happy that I could do something, you know, I couldn't bop the way I wanted to because of my leg, but you know, it helped me. It brought me up.
Mhm.
So yeah. So my thing is, if you see somebody, if you see that app that got that $sign in front of it,
Support.
drop them some love.
Yeah, if you can buy directly for the artist, buy directly from the artist, because that they'll get more of the money that way than going through some of these other places.
Did you feel, Mr. Treese, that with COVID, the pandemic, I'm sorry, that's going on, do you feel that that artists which are missing out on that live date money, do you feel that that it's more, artists make more money touring as opposed to record sales and stuff like that?
They've within the last, let me guess, probably 15 years, if not a little bit more. They make most of their money from touring than they do record sales, since the internet has dominated the record sales. Because you don't go, there's no record stores really anymore, so you can't go
Yep.
find the CD and the cassette or the vinyl and all that. So they're making their money off of stuff online, but online you're not getting the amount you normally would if it was a record, because you can stream. So they're making their money off selling merchandise and doing shows. I would say this, and it goes back to me saying what I said earlier about I do music for the love of music. If right now, and it's probably gonna be like this way for a while. Right now, if you're in the music business or trying to get in the music business for the money, it's not the place. It's not the thing to do, because you're not going to make that money that you think you're going to make, because you can't do any shows. You can sell stuff online, and hopefully you get an audience big enough to buy stuff to help you out. But I don't see careers being made like they used to, because the way technology is, and now with the pandemic going on, it's going to be a minute. And this is my thought, my opinion. It's going to be a while before we get back to so-called normal, and be able to go to do concerts and stuff like that with a couple hundred to a couple thousands of people in one place. I don't see that coming back for a while, and unfortunately, that's going to hurt a lot of artists.
Especially if that was how you made your money.
Exactly.
New Edition made their money like this, sis. Remember that in the miniseries? They made more of their money touring as opposed to record sales. Remember, they only got $500 in a VCR.
And that's the way that the artists are making their money now, is that they're touring. That's why a lot of these older artists, like I said, when I said something about Drew Hill and all these other people, Casey and JoJo, all these other people are doing stuff overseas or doing these shows. You see these shows with all these, they'll call them, I don't know, back in the day, whatever shows. They're doing that because they make money touring. They're not making money selling records. And some of these artists have records out, and people don't even know they have records. They're still recording.
And now we only know one song because they only play one song. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. I played a CD on Spotify, and I was like, wait a minute. When this song come out? Prime example. I'm laughing because I said I wasn't going to use them tonight. I'm not going to use the word, but I am going to use them. They have a song that was out where him and Jada had a song together, but nobody knew
Just
about
the
the
two of us?
song.
Wait a minute,
Just the two of us?
Jada?
Jada and Will had a song together that's out.
What? They
And
did?
it was a long time
Oh,
ago,
yeah. I know the song.
but it just popped up after this whole thing recently blew over. So everybody was like, okay, is this a publicity stunt? What's going on? We didn't even know that song existed. Like, huh?
What's
And
it
No, what it
called,
is,
sis?
I guarantee you what it is because of all this whole entanglement.
I
Because
thought
of
it was
that.
called entanglement. I thought it was called entanglement.
I said I was not going to say that word.
I said it. You didn't say it.
We
But
both said it. So come at us.
so what it is that because of all the stuff that's going on, people started Googling more stuff and going YouTube, and it probably popped up that way, and people started seeing it. I don't know whether or not they pushed it themselves. A lot of things happen just organically because of stuff that happened. So, and then they may capitalize on. They may see that all of a sudden they see that that song got more views on since this has been going on YouTube. All of a sudden, it was nothing going on, and overnight they got 20,000 views on the song. Then they go like, okay, we need to push this a little bit more. So that could happen as well.
Shauna, you ain't gonna play, sis. You ain't gonna play the song. It ain't gonna make me cry like Will with it.
I'm not laughing at Will, and I'm not wallowing at Will, because my thing is what happened with them should have stayed with them. And I feel bad for entertainers because of the mere fact of people are now laughing at them and they wallowing in their pain. And
Follow in the mire,
and
yeah.
I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's funny that people are seeing that these are people just like us and they hurt just like us. The only difference between us and them is they're entertainers where their lives are constantly on screens, microphones daily. And for them to come out like that, I can't sit there and waddle. And some of the things they say, I'm like, that's a shame, because we got neighbors who are going through the same thing. Ain't nobody laughing at them, and if they are, it ain't on Facebook laughing at them. I mean,
I was about ready to say that, sis. That's a part, and Mr. Trees, you can agree to. That's what Will and Jada are going through. I mean, nothing for nothing. I knew everyday people went through stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? Everyday people go through that. But like you said, sis,
it's common.
It's their profession. It's their profession. Yeah. That's why it's out there like that.
Well, I have two things to say about it. One, someone's asked me the question about it, and I told them, I said, first of all, it's none of my business. I said, it's their life. Who am I to judge what they do? Right. I said, one. I said, two, but since you're going to ask me, I said, you may not like my response, but I'll give it to you. I said, one, I said, the guy, August, grown man. Two, true. He knew what he was getting into when he got into it.
Yep.
Three, yes. When he was asked a question about what was going on, he should have said, Jada's my girl, love her to death. I love the family. That was in the discussion. This is the funny one. There's a rule, and I'm not saying this that I know this, but there is a rule to being a side piece, and he messed that all up.
Okay.
He messed it all up, so.
I never heard that. It's the rules to being a side piece. Since you took your glasses off. You took your glasses off. I think you touched a nerve.
First of all.
Uh-oh, you undid it. You undid it, Mr. Tree.
All they did was bring out what they was hiding all along.
But they didn't bring it. They didn't bring it out.
No,
he brought it out. If they wanted to bring it out.
But that's what happens when you play the game and then you change the rules to the game. How you going to sit there and allow it? And now that you allowed it, now you want to change the game and go, no, this is not what we're doing. And now I'm going to exploit you. What I think happened was he was ready to lose. And because he was ready to lose, because she wasn't coming back. And because she came back, he lost his mind. But my thing is this: if everybody really look at it, it was already written. They just brought it out, and I think they mad now because Will is like, see, this is what happens when you change the rules according to the rules you made. Because I believe she initially made the rules and he went along with it because he loved her. I don't think that was his idea. I think it was her idea and he went along with it.
Well, I think Will's more hurt because Will has that Mr. Good Guy in Hollywood. So now all of a sudden, but now all of a sudden, he's got to face this in the he may think it tarnishes him in the public eye. So now he's got to tackle that. And I think that's one of the reasons he looked the way he looked on the Red Table Talk, was because now he's like, look what position you put me in now. Yes. Look what you did. Look what position you put me in. Now I got to face this, and I got to say that I knew about this. Now I got to say all this stuff that he never wanted to come out with.
And you know what, Mr. Trees, and Sean and Sis, if you look on Billboard, the new edition, I think this week or next week's, because I look at Billboard a lot. DJ Jazzy Jeff, he's the DJ, I'm the rapper. Just popped back on the charts, and
I believe it.
Will Linnea, the one with Big Getting Jiggy with it, that entered the Billboard 200. It's low, but it creeped back on the charts. You know what I mean? After all this, so they're starting to bring back I notice every time something, whether it's good or positive, that and happens to an artist, their older work starts to sell. To sell.
We already know
that.
I
guarantee people downloading their movies too. So
yeah, because after all, look at it, Michael Jackson, and you know what? I gotta say it. Michael was the only, you know how bad Michael was? Michael was so bad that he took down the internet. Like, who does that? Like, you die and you taking the internet with you. You know, like everybody was on the internet and the internet just couldn't take it no more. He's the only artist that I knew that killed the internet. Like, it went down. But then he became even more rich. And more money came through because, like you said, everybody started watching the old movies and listening to the old songs. Like that poster that you have, I remember having that picture, but not that one. I don't know if y'all remember when he first made the change and Thriller came out. That's when they started selling his pictures with the brown frames. And he had the one with the yellow and the white shirt and the one with the red and black. I had all of them on my wall. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I remember that Michael. That was the Michael that I had on my wall. And
that's not all they start selling. When Michael Jackson passed away.
No, I wasn't talking about when he passed away. I was saying that's what I had. And,
okay.
And I remember having my my torture, as a matter of fact, is still on the wall at my old house. I have the torture ticket.
Jackson.
Yes, when they came to Philly.
Yeah. The victory tour.
I had their ticket on my wall. And my nephew had that room now, but the ticket is still there on my wall. And everybody was like, why you didn't go and take it? I said, because if I take it off, it'll rip. Because it's there. So I have to leave it there because it's worth something. I said maybe something that's coming along later on in life, and I can figure out how to peel it off and put it somewhere it'll be worth something. But I remember I just was that girl for them. That was me. I was
a big Mike MJ fan. Huge MJ fan.
The name of the song is what's the name of the song? The name of the song.
The cartoons. They were selling this too. The cartoon show, remember it?
Yeah.
The name of the song that Joe and Will had was "Here's to Another 1,000 Kisses."
Oh, okay.
That was the name of the one they was out. And the minute that video came out, then they went to the table. And I was like, wow. And that's when he was doing the look like, call it what it is. Call it what it is. And she gave us a new word. And everybody's been doing the
she just tried to sugarcoat what was going on is what she tried to do.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. But
there was no sugarcoating in it. But like I said, again, to me, it's their business, no one else's business. Let them handle the way they want to handle it. I still think that, what dumbfounds me and really does, and maybe it's me because I'm a guy. I've seen a lot of women upset saying that she took advantage of this guy. I'm like, he's 27 years old, and then then they keep saying, well, he was vulnerable and this, that, and this. He was broken, and she was supposed to have been helping him, and she took advantage of him. I don't buy it personally. That's just me personally. I don't know the situation. Everybody else don't know the situation. They speculate what's going on or what really happened. The only people that really truly know what happened is them, and they're not going to tell the whole story.
Nope.
Well, Mr. Treese, the way your career is building up, hopefully and prayfully, you don't go that route.
No. You learn from what you see, and I've learned a lot.
And also don't be.
Wait a minute. Put it back up. Did you just do it again? You did it again. Again. You're trying to put your what I want to say. Because I've been sitting here watching you, and I'm like, you know who he looks like right now? You look like
Howard Hewitt.
You look like Tyler Perry right now.
I was gonna say Howard Hewitt.
In a good way. Not the bad
Which one you
way.
want, Mr. Treese? Tyler or Howard?
I guess Howard instead of. I heard Howard on line on Facebook the other day, and I was a huge Howard Hewitt fan. I always said Howard Hewitt. The problem with Howard Hewitt was he never hooked up with the right producers. At the time when he was almost at his peak, if he would have hooked up with Babyface, oh my God. But I heard him online the other day, and he was singing something, and I was like, oh my God, and I had to turn him off.
Wait, did it sound too good?
But it didn't sound too good. But I love Howard Hewitt. He was a hell of a singer. He still is a good singer.
I'm going to always love that high note. I'm always going to love that high. It's just something about, no, I can't even say it's something about that high note. Because lately I've been feeling some low notes, and it's still been vibrating too. And I'll be like, maybe it's the COVID thing going on. I don't know. Maybe COVID got, my chords a little off a little bit. I don't know. I can't say that because I was doing that before COVID happened. So whatever. But
in your opinion, who do you think who is like one of the best ever vocalists of all time?
I don't know because it's a bunch of different styles. And I go through stages of people who I like. I have my all-time favorites that I listen to all the time, like Prince, Michael Jackson, Luther, Smokey Robinson. Well, I have a thing about not Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder. But I also like back in the day, Brian McKnight. I thought was a hell of a vocalist. Maxwell. See, it just depends. It just depends. I think Johnny Gill, a hell of a vocalist. That's always he's always consistent, and that's what I like, consistent singers.
I was waiting to use that word consistency.
I like consistent singers. Let me tell you one. People look at me like I'm crazy. One of the singers that I like, female wise, that she gets the credit, but she doesn't get the credit from R&B artists or black audience. And I wish she would do just a strictly R&B, down home R&B album. And it's crazy. Christina Aguilera. I wish she would do an R&B album. I think it would be crazy because she has some chops on, but she does pop and stuff like that. That doesn't really, it shows her range, but it doesn't. If you ever get the chance, look at her when she did a tribute to James Brown. She does It's a Man's World.
I
Oh
saw
my
that at the
God.
Grammys. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You know,
She
it's a lot of singers that do that. You know, their range. Like, some may not agree with me. Tamia. She did a tribute. They did a tribute to Luther, and she did "So Amazing." Oh,
Mhm.
I love that rendition of "So Amazing." And you know, not too many people can touch Luther.
Yeah.
She did the rendition of "Amazing," and oh yes, and it's only one on YouTube where she did it, and I cannot find not near one that has a very perfect pitch because they all come a little distorted. So I could download it to still play it, but it's still distorted. And I remember reaching out to her on Twitter and trying to reach to her on Instagram to ask her, would she ever consider, doing that song? But I never got a call back on it. So I'm gonna still reach out to her. So if anybody know her, put a move on my heart. Tell her she put a move on my heart when she sang "So Amazing" by Luther Vandross.
There was I can't think what song it was. It was not too long ago. There was a tribute, and I can't think who was the tribute to, but there was a tribute that tribute show they had, and Jennifer Hudson did a song, and I can't remember what it was, but it was unbelievable. I can't remember what it was though. But she's another one that's consistent. That's consistent all the time is Jennifer Hudson, and I think that she's. There was a thing going around Facebook. They were asking who did you like more, or who's a better singer, Jennifer Hudson or
Fanny.
what's her
Fantasia.
Fantasia. And don't get me wrong, Fantasia can sing, but Fantasia does a lot of screaming. I would take Jennifer Hudson over Jennifer. I mean, I'd take Jennifer Hudson over her any day because she's consistent.
Now you know what? So funny you say that because I'm just the opposite. And I guess it's because I can't say that. I can't say that because there's some songs that Jennifer can sing, and I'd be like, yes. And then the other songs I'd be like, oh, please. Same thing with Fantasia. There's some songs I'd be like, that's it. But then, like you said, you gotta remember,
she get into that hollering thing, and it takes away from the song.
That country gospel holler.
Yeah,
that's what it is. She got that, and if you can't appreciate gospel country hollering, you're not going to like Fanny. Which draws me to the conversation you were saying earlier when you said, when Will asked you what was, your favorite of all times, and it's like a smorgasbord. It depends on what you're looking for. Or what's going on at that particular moment that you can say, this is the one that gets me. Like every now and then you want that hoagie, but every now and then you can go for that stromboli. But then again, you might want some chicken fingers, or you might just want the bone in. It depends on what you feel in that particular moment. So,
yeah. Like as far as artists, I listen to everything. So it just depends on what type of mood I'm in. It's certain artists I will buy. Back in the day, if they had a CD coming out or an album coming out, I didn't have to hear a song off of it. I would just go buy it. Like Brian McKnight is a prime example. Anything he put out when he was big, I bought everything he had. I got like that with Neo. I knew it was going to be something on Neo that I was going to like. Michael and Prince, that's a given.
Yeah, they could have said the ABCs, and I would have been like on it.
Yeah. So it just depends. I've heard, speaking of Michael, I had a chance twice. I had a chance twice to meet him. I met him once in Germany after a concert. It was after the Dangerous tour. Make a long story short, I think I told you this before. Jermaine Dupri, his grandmother and my grandmother are sisters, we're cousins. So Crisscross had opened up for Michael in Germany, and I went to the show and was backstage. And there was an after party. I went to the after party. And Michael was at the after party, and I got to talk to him for like 5 minutes. And then fast forward till 95, I think it was. I was in DC, and a friend of mine I knew worked for BET. Okay. BET was doing their 15-year anniversary. And,
yeah.
they asked me if I wanted to, as far as helping him do the show. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I was helping with the show, and Michael was there at the show. Two of his dancers remembered me from Germany, from when I seen him there, and we started talking. And they was like, "Come on!" And they took me back to Michael's trailer, and I went back there and I sat back there and talked to him for like an hour and a half. Good dude. He was really nice, down to earth. He asked me a lot. He was asking me a bunch of questions, I guess, just about like everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
And they also had a table with like a bunch of fruit and juices and all this other stuff. And he just started handing me stuff. He's like, "Here," he said, "you take it," because they bring me this stuff, but I'm not going to eat all this stuff. I walked out with my arms full of stuff. And the last thing I did, now mind you, this is before they had camera phones, so I couldn't take a picture. And I met a lot of artists in my time because of Jermaine, but I've never asked them to take pictures or asked them for autographs or anything like that. But when I was leaving Michael's trailer, they had his name on the door on this red sign. He took that off and handed it to me.
Oh, wow.
But he didn't sign it. He just handed it to me, and that was it. And then he left. No, that was after the show was over. When he did the show, he went out and did the sound check, and then he came back to the trailer. He went back to do the show, and I'm backstage, and he sang his 2 songs. He was coming back through, and he looked at me and said, "How was it?" And I looked at him playing around. I looked at him and went, "Eh." And he looked at me, gave me a funny look, and then punched me, and then walked off laughing. And got in his limousine, and he drove off. But like I said, he was really cool, real cool guy.
You know, it's funny because when I see him fighting, and I heard that he liked to do that, like play fight. Like I remember when he did Space Jam with Michael Jordan, he jumped on Michael Jordan's back. You know, and
Thank you.
Michael was that type of guy. But I heard that he was the conversationalist. He was the one that we have a conversation.
That's the reason I was back there for an hour and a half, because he was doing because I didn't know what. I mean, I asked him a couple questions, but I really didn't know what to say, and I didn't want to be that fan, like, oh my god. So I kept my cool, and we just started talking. We were talking about everyday things and just, running the mill stuff. And the funniest part is Emmanuel Lewis was there too. He was back. Yeah, he was back there too. But he just sat there the whole time eating stuff off the table. But like I said, we all sat there talking, and it was cool for like an hour and a half.
I remember Webster. That was cool. You know, the one thing I'll say about Michael, and I will continue to say it, you know, Michael never got a chance to grow up. And because he never got a chance to grow up, he got stuck in that, that error. Again,
the Peter Pan syndrome.
Again, my opinion, don't nobody got to agree with me. And I believe because of that was why he did a lot of things and was caught up in a lot of things that he should not have been caught up in as an adult. Because as an adult, to him, he never got there because he went straight from a child to an adult. The minute he got up there and started doing James Brown and they signed him, he went straight to adulthood, straight from there, And as a result, what we as adults would say, no, that wasn't normal. For him, that was, because he was still a child. Even though he was this man and this smart, educated, this entertainer was like everything, brilliant. I remember saying when he died, I was like, I need him to jump out the casket and say, "This is it, surprise." I was waiting for him to come out with another Thriller. I just knew that's what it was going to be because it was around. I just didn't. Huh?
What was crazy is when he passed away, I worked at a dealership. I was working at a dealership, and people knew that that Jermaine Dupri was my cousin, and Jermaine at the time was dating Janet.
Okay.
So all of a sudden I get all these phone calls, and I'm like, and at the time I didn't know what was going on, and then I finally heard it on the news, and I was like, all right, because he was in the hospital supposedly. Now in my mind, I'm going, he's gonna be okay. And then I just kept getting calls after calls after calls, like I had a phone number straight to Michael, and they were contacting me. But I guess they figured because Jermaine was my cousin, Jermaine was dating Janet, I would be one of the first ones to know because they knew I was a huge Michael fan.
Right.
But it shocked me that I mean, the same way I thought it has to be a lie. It's got to be a lie. And then the same thing happened when Prince died.
The Prince, yeah.
I heard about it. Yeah, when I heard about it, I was like, because the first one they reported, they said there was a dead body in Paisley Park, and I'm thinking one of his people. But in the back of my mind, I knew it was him because they wouldn't be reporting it if it wasn't. And then the news came, and I was like, yeah, we're losing these people left and right as far as these icons and stuff. So they may want to put some bubble wrap around Stevie Wonder because this is crazy.
I don't
you know what?
Stevie came out hard. Did you see what he just recently did?
No.
Stevie was like, yo, it got to be more about your mouth. I was like, tell him, Steve. Like, Mouth was like, you need to be doing some action right now. I don't want to hear nothing else. I don't want to hear nothing else. I want to hear that y'all doing something because right now y'all just moving your mouth.
Like, was he talking about the protest that was going on, sis?
He was talking about everything.
I know that I read something about he was saying and maybe you can't believe everything you see on Facebook, but I remember seeing something about him saying if Black Lives Matter, why are Black people killing Black people the way they are, or something like that. But I'm not sure how much truth there was to that, if he said it or not.
He did a video, and the video he was saying was basically something similar to that. If I could, I can't verbatim say what he said because I don't think I can really find the video that fast. But he basically was saying what everybody else is saying. Like right now, you know, with everything that's going on, how is it that we're still using the mentality of the family? And the mentality that we call the family is, I can do it, but you can't do it. I can beat up on you, but I'm not gonna let nobody else beat up on you. And that's kind of like that mentality that they got going, that we have as a people going on right now, because we're quick to jump on people that do us wrong, but we're not showing that same timing.
Yeah.
When it comes to when we do it. Like I remember I did something and my sister came to my rescue. And I remember saying to my mom, but she do me worse than they do. And she was ready to tear their head off. She said, yeah, but you know your sister like, yo, I can beat you up. I can tear you down, but ain't nobody else going to do it because that's my job.
Yeah, and that's the mentality we have, yeah.
And then not only that, the other mentality is this is how we've been taught to treat each other for years. From the timing of them being the house boy and the field boy. The house boy would tell on the field boy. And then they would get into the fight because, you know, whatever. You remember the cotton stories. But this is how we've been taught. And no one's ever come and changed the mentality of how we thinking and how we dealing with each other. And I think instead of us getting mad at each other and pointing the fingers at each other, I think we need to start teaching each other.
It's just a matter of it's what's real and what's really going on doesn't fit the narrative of what they want us to see. Is what it is. Same prime example, and I've heard some other people say this, and I've always said it myself. There's no such thing as black on black crime. It's just crime. They keep saying black on black crime just to fit a narrative. There's white on white crime, but they don't talk about it. 83% of white people killed are killed by other white people. It's called proximity killing, or proximity, whatever you want to call it. But you hurt and kill and rob or whatever people you're in close proximity to. But that doesn't fit their narrative. So it's always going to be, it's just this group of people that are doing all these things because it fits their narrative of what they want to be televised.
You nailed it. There you go. If y'all ain't hear nothing else that Jay Tree said tonight in his Tyler Perry voice, he said, oh, I made him do it again, y'all. I should have had to bring up. I told you I was going to do it. I said, you know what? I looked at the pictures, and I see you at the time, I see you at the Prince house with the Times and standing there with your face, and I'm like, Okay, where's Mars at? I'm ready. I'm ready for Mars to come out with Maurice in the mirror and have you sit there and smile, but you ain't smile there either. I'm like, you know what? When he come on this show, he gonna smile. I'm gonna find out, do he smile?
Right.
So what else makes you smile? What else make you smile? You gotta tell us what else make you smile.
Just, I mean, music and kind people.
No, there's somebody else that makes you smile. It's a
Who was
little,
that?
little. It's a little that makes you smile.
Little.
Yes, it's a little person. Didn't you just become a new granddaddy?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking? But the sad thing about it is that because of COVID, I've seen pictures. That's it.
Oh, you didn't get a chance to get them cheeks and everything yet?
Nope, just pictures.
You know what? COVID sucks. Are you believing the conspiracy with that?
No, I know too many people who've lost people. I know I have family members that have gotten it. Here's the way I look at this whole thing. Do you have a hard enough time to get people in your own family to agree on one thing? How the hell can you get a whole world to falsify this, saying it's a hoax? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So, plus my goddaughter, prime example, with this, my goddaughter, London Trees, shout out to London Trees. She speaks Japanese, she speaks Chinese. She lives in Wuhan, China. She told me about this back in December.
Wow.
So that's how I know that it's not a hoax and this, that, and this. It's like I said, but bigger than that, how can you get the whole world to be in on this hoax without somebody spilling the beans?
Well, you know, they was at the round table in November in DC. In November, there's a thing called, I want to make sure I'm saying it right, and if I'm not, y'all know I'll post it. I think it was called the 302 plan or something. And they were all at the table, talking about it. What's the big hospital? What's the big hospital in DC?
Walter Reed? Walter Reed's not in DC.
John Hopkins.
John Hopkins.
John Hopkins in Maryland.
It was John Hopkins Hospital. And it was a 201 plan or 302 something. It was one of them two. And they talked about everything that is going on right now. And then to take it back even further, May or August of 2019, they had already initiated this stipend that we just received in April 2020 that they claimed all of a sudden was signed. It was created back then, but it was under a different name.
How can I will say this because I can't really say anything because besides doing music, I have another job, and the other job I can't really talk about. That's the only way I can put it.
Gotcha.
And in saying that, I don't remember hearing anything about that. That's the only way I can put it.
Got you. And I'm gonna leave it right there. I ain't even gonna put you there. I'm gonna leave you right there because I can't bail you out. I can't. There's nothing I can do. I can't even sing you out. I can't do it. You know. So I ain't even gonna put you in that position. So in the event that you had to write another song related to the pandemic, would you, and what would be the title?
You know, it's crazy. I have a friend of mine named Don Trunk. Shout out to Don Trunk. He's a producer. And he had a song called Quarantine and What, or something like that was called. And I wrote something to it. I'm the type of writer, I typically don't write. If you tell me, hey, can you write a song about this? It's harder for me to do it instead because to me, it's not organic.
Okay.
So if something comes to me, then I'll write it. But I believe I can implement something into the song about what's going on. But it has to be something to move me to like I said earlier, the song With Love, something was said that made me write it. And that the one line I heard was about the United States being a melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there made me write the whole song.
Got you.
But I'm pretty sure I could. I'm as far as the title, I'm not sure. I don't know. Changing Times. I don't know.
Okay, but you know what? It's funny you would say that because you know Earth, Wind, and Fire has a song called "Changing Times," and that's like so fitting. So fitting. Okay. Talking about your music again, you have a very unique way of making your music that's kind of different from everybody else. You remind me of a book. Like, you know, when you get that book, you can read the first, like you can read what's on the back, but it's like, but then you open it and like it catches you and then it tells the story. But you do yours with your music and then you throw the lyrics at you.
Correct. What I'll do is I'll do the music and then the melody of the music itself will move me, and then all of a sudden a melody will come in my head, and then I'll start. Typically, I end up writing the hook or the chorus of the song first, and then I'll build the song itself around the chorus. But it's been times that I'll write write part of the first verse, and then I'll let it build from there. But I always do the music first, and then I'll let the music take me wherever it takes me as far as writing.
So you gotta tell me tonight, what inspired tonight?
Actually and truly, I can't take full credit for tonight. The music is all mine. The music is all mine. The lyrics were my buddy Jesse. I told you the song's supposed to be for him. He actually wrote it. I helped write some of it because I changed some stuff in it. But the song itself, when I heard it, he had it. Matter of fact, when he wrote the song, he had it going to the music from Grover Washington, Mr. Magic. That's who it was actually on at first. And the band I used to sing with, or I still do some stuff with, called Legacy, we used to do that song in shows. And that song just stuck in my head. And one day I was doing the music that you hear on tonight. And I'm trying to come up with something. And for some reason, I started singing that song. And I changed a couple things here and there, and it fit like a glove.
Well, I know about a lot of legacies because, you know, we are part of the Legacy Exists, but ours is an educational board. And so I'm going to play a little bit of Tonight. For all of you who did not know about Tonight, we've been promoting Tonight. And again, for all of you who's coming through, this is Jay Treese, and he is the winner for AMJ, Mr. Independent Artist himself. So we're gonna listen to just a little bit of what he got to say with this song called Tonight.
I can tell you wanna say something more than the moonlight. Baby, I feel your heart. It's anticipating love. Introduction of our first time. Baby, all of me is yours. There's no doubt I'm into you. Where your body turns me on. I can tell you feel it too. As I rock you in my arms. Better, I feel your heart. It's anticipating love. Introduction to our first time. Baby, all of me is yours.
So all of of y'all that know me, all y'all that know me, y'all know it got that Caribbean flow, and that's what does it. And you got a nerve to talk about the introduction of Our First Time, and I feel your heart, the pitter patter. That's just, that's just bad. That's just naughty right there. That's just naughty. That's just naughty. That's just naughty. And you like that song, you play that song. Santa Claus is not coming to see you in Christmas. But you got a lot of good tunes. A lot of like we played when we first entered, and it was Heartbeat, which is one of your number ones, one of your top selections. So yeah, I definitely. So if there was something that you had to tell an independent artist right now, what advice would you give them?
Don't take no for an answer and don't give up.
Ooh.
Keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. As the old saying goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat. If you get a no here, there's somebody that's going to say yes sooner or later. And if they all say no, you can open your own door and do what you got to do.
Boom.
True.
As Mary Marion said, as they open up their song, boom, I'm walking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know a lot of people they say they like to follow in people's footsteps and this, that, and which I understand. But sometimes you got to know when to step out of those footsteps and start your own. So
absolutely, you got to do your own path, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Do your thing. Do what you want to do.
Yep.
Wow. So yeah. Well, it looked like it cooled off. Now, I was supposed to be on a rooftop for this interview. It ain't work out that way, but that's all right. I am coming to DC. And when I come to DC, don't forget, you owe me. We're gonna have to go to the rooftop. Deal?
That's fine. You let me know when you're coming and we can do another one there. I'm down for it.
Great. Yeah. And by that time, you should have your next album, right?
I'm working on it right now. I have probably, as far as done, probably 4 songs done. I have more that I've started, but as far as they say, in the can, I have probably 4 of them that are in the can that I could put out today if I wanted to. But everything has switched, like I told you, with me signing with Stage World International. It's changed up some things, so I just got to figure out what I want the first single to be with them, and going from there, or if it's not going to be with them, with Sony, if Sony's going to pick me up, what's the first single going to be? So, but I'm the next album will be ready by September.
Okay, we'll be looking for that. And when you do, of course, you already know you could bust the door open and come on the No BS Duo Show. I believe we're going to still be going on, because as long as quarantine is going on, I believe this platform is going to be going on. So you could definitely always come back through and sit on the couch and hit the microphone with us again. But before I let you go, now, so of course, I always pick with everybody, especially our male artists, and I say about the way the music that y'all play. Y'all play the music about getting you, and then you play the music about how it's over. But you never have the music in between. You done broke the record because you got some in between songs, like How to Keep It Moving. So since you have that talent, you gotta make a song for me, right?
Like what? What type of song?
The song you have to write is She Made Me Smile.
I can do that. Actually, you know what? Let me write that down.
She made me smile. And when he put that on his album, y'all know that he's talking about me.
Are you wait a minute, hold on, sis. Are you going to be like, well, since I gave it a title, you gonna want them little songwriting royalties and stuff like that? Little writer's credit?
Nope. He ain't even got to write my name on the album. He ain't even got to mention it on an interview because it's already
Well,
been
Mr.
mentioned.
Trees, there you go. There you go.
He ain't even got to mention it on the interview because he already written on the interview tonight on July 18th, 2020, when he said, we already know who made him smile. He's talking about me.
I like the title of it. She made me smile, so I can probably do that.
Looky. So now I don't have to run around no more saying that song, what's the name of that song? It's a song, and he is not saying my name, but I declare every time that part come on, I say my name. And they're like, you know he didn't say Shauna. I bet that's all right. That's what it sounds like to me. So that's what's going on.
You know, it's crazy because one of my favorite songs, talking about Smile, one of my favorite songs with the group the band I was singing in, Legacy, I do with them, and I keep saying them, and my boy Jesse keeps saying I gotta do a remake of it and put it on my album. Is Sarah Smile?
Oh, you know I love that song.
Oh yes. Sarah Smile. Yes.
Yeah, so I have my own spin that I put on it. That I'm going to do, and the best to me, the favorite part of that song that gets me, that I find that my audience like, is the one part when he goes, if you feel like leaving, you know you can go, but why don't you stay until tomorrow? If you want to be free, you know, that part right there is, whew, is something.
Right, Tracy. I keep singing it. You gotta keep singing it. You gotta keep singing it now. You can't just stop on the part. Especially when you hit that note. You hit that note. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
I'll do it next time.
Yeah,
No,
beautiful.
no.
Please do.
You gotta at least get me to the chorus. You gotta get me to the chorus.
I'm saying I have to go back then. If you want to be free.
Hey, Shauna, wait a minute. Can I do the chorus? Can I do it?
No. You gotta do it again.
Let me do this. Look, I wasn't planning on doing this. Hold on one second. You got me turning on my stuff now. Hold on.
So there you have it, y'all.
Sarah Smile.
Not only do I make him smile, but I also make him sing.
Hey, I wanted to sing.
No. So get it, Joe. Go get it, Joe. Go get it.
Hold on. I got to strike everything up.
He gonna put his keys out. Look, if y'all ain't doing it yet, if y'all ain't start y'all lives yet, it only happens on the No BS Duo Show when he do what he do, how he doing what he do. And now that Shauna made him smile, now you got to remember about Sarah. Here we go.
I think I have it in so. Hold on, just take a second for it to boot up.
That's all right. You just take your time. Take your time. Matter of fact, wasn't there a song that said that?
SOS Band.
I thought it was.
Take your time?
Yeah.
Take your time, do it right.
You can do it, baby.
Yes, that was it.
Time, do it right. You can do it, baby.
Oh, that's it right there. That's it.
All right.
Go ahead, take your time. Let's do it. Take your time.
Baby hair with a woman's eyes, I can feel you watching in the night. All alone with me while we're waiting for the sunlight. When I feel cold, you warm me, and when I feel I can't go on, you come and hold me. It's you and me forever. Sarah, smile. Oh, won't you smile a while for me, Sarah? Check it. If you feel like a leaving, you know you can go. But why don't you stay until tomorrow? If you want to be free, you know, all you got to do is say so. When you feel cold, I warm you. And when you feel you can't go on, I'll come and hold you. It's you and me forever. Sarah, smile. I want you to smile a while for me, Sarah. Oh, smile a while. Whoa. Smile a while. Whoa. Smile. I want you to smile a while for me, Sarah. Whoa, smile a while. I want you to laugh a bit. Babe. Yeah. Keep me dreaming like a man, not driving me crazy, baby. Smile for a while. Whoa. Smile a while. Whoa. But check it. If you feel like leaving, if you feel like leaving, if you feel like leaving, just stay until the morning, baby.
Bravo, 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 bravo.
Thank you, thank you.
You made me bring the
I like
light
that.
out.
I like that.
I like that. I like, yes, bring the light out. Turn the lights on, y'all. Turn the lights on. Bring the lights. Yes, you done made my night. And I hope that he made y'all night too. J Trees, I'm looking forward to more love coming from you. And I'm wishing you so much more to come. I know your door is wide open and you already walking into your season because I already see this tracks in the sand. So again, we are looking forward to hearing what you got coming new. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. And congratulations again, because you got 2 more awards that you already received this year, right?
Well, I'm waiting on the album of the year. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get it or not, but I'm up for it. I won 2 other ones prior, which is, hold on one second. I won from the World Songwriters Award for With Love. I won this one, and then for Best R&B. Well, both of these are Best R&B songs, and then one for Heartbeat. So I won these 2 earlier this year.
Yay, they look good. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. So I'm waiting on the award show, which was supposed to be in Atlanta last month, but Corona didn't happen. So now it's the 1st of August. They're going to do it online. So I'll find out in a couple of weeks.
All right. You let us know so we can make sure that we're tuning in and we let them know that our winner from the new BSDUO show is going to be receiving his award ceremony. And you know what? Even if you don't win, you still a winner to us. And, you know, congratulations on even the nominee, because there's so many people that write songs today that do not get the proper acknowledgement.
Exactly.
And
that is true. Too many ghostwriters.
Yeah, a whole lot of them.
And it's so sad because there's so many that they really, it's not even about. I understand some people do it for the love, some people do it for the money, but even in the midst of doing it, you don't really even get the proper award that it deserves, but hopefully, prayerfully, like our cousin Ted said, we'll be able to create something that will be better, that better formulated for us, because again, this may just very well be the new normalcy. And if it is, we need to find a way of how we're going to continue to make it benefit us, because everything that's been written, everything that has been done, it didn't include us. This time we're going to make sure, as the whisper's going to say, love won't walk out on me again, not from this normalcy.
Yeah.
So, yes. Will, you have anything else you want to say to our dear Joel?
Mr. Treese, I just want to say it was a pleasure. Sorry I was running around a lot. My son, he's 8 years old, so he's your nephew sits all over the place. He just got this new game, so I'm like telling him keep it down. So my apologies to you, sir.
No problem. I totally understand.
Yeah, so I apologize. But besides that, much continued success for you. I think that your journey is a blessing, and just keep on inspiring and keep on doing what you have to do.
Cool. Thank you. And by the way, everybody, and I think that's why I did this song. I have a song on my album called that, Keep Doing What You Do. And it's just that, keep doing what you do, keep doing what you love to do, no matter what happens. Just keep your head up and keep treading water as long as you can. You're bound to find land sooner or later.
You know what? I think we're gonna go ahead and close out on them inspirational words, because that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Keep doing what you're doing, because some people just don't. They're waiting for everybody else's approval, and yeah, I think with that being said, we need to inspire some people that no matter what, just sometimes you just gotta keep doing what you're doing. If it's for the betterment, keep doing what you're doing. And this is from Jay Trees. Keep doing what you're doing.
I wanna feel the fire of your love. Baby, once can never be enough. Open up your heart and let me in. You got me falling for you once again. Got me calling out your name. I want you. Keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. Let me know you feel the same as I do. Keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. Doing what you do, do you like it, baby, like it, baby. Doing what you do, do you want it, lady, want it, lady. Doing what you do, do you like it, baby, like it, baby. Doing what you do, do you like it, baby, Baby, you got something on your mind. 'Cause you know I can feel it on your tongue. Yes, the thoughts of you and me unwind. Girl, I get a taste of what's to come. Got me calling out your name. I want you. Keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. Let me know you feel the same as I do. Keep doing what you do, keep doing what you do. Doing what you do. Do you like it, baby? Like it, baby. Doing what you do. Do you want it, lady? Want it, lady? Doing what you do. Do you like it, baby? Like it, baby. Doing what you do. Do you want it, baby? Do you want it, baby? Do you like it, baby? Do you want it? Do you want it? Do you like it, baby? Do you want it, baby? I got it,
There you have it. That's Mr. J. Treese, and he's saying, keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you do. I like it. I love it. Just keep doing it. And you know what? That can be very well taken by any means of your description and understanding, because you can keep doing what you're doing for somebody and they're loving the way you inspire them, the way you encourage them, the way you help them. So with that being said, open up your horizon of your eyes and take it into another dimension of understanding when you can't flow with what the currency is of the normalcy. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
So talking about making sense, it's going to make sense that unfortunately all good things must come to an end. No, I'm sad too. I'm hurt too. I know, but I'm excited because I was keeping count. Not 4, not 5, but multiple times I got Joel to smile. So we can look forward to that single coming real soon to our record album for you.
It may even end up making my next album if I sit down and do it soon enough.
Let me find out. I'm going to be on your mind like that you can write a song. I'm trying to tell you. You know what? You're giving me dimples that I don't have. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going to start looking like a China doll soon. Cut it out. Okay. Anything else you want to say, Will? Before we say goodnight, I think he's fussing at my little nephew again. Poor baby. That's the gamer. When I tell you he in it, and he love himself some auntie. But even when that gamer, he not know his auntie.
Let me take a guess. Fortnite.
I don't know if that's the one he has right now. I think that's the one my son has right now.
Yeah, Fortnite is the one that they're all playing.
Yeah, them gamers. I'm trying to tell you. I be like, excuse me. They're like, huh? Are you gonna do that? Huh? Are you gonna move? Huh? I don't know if you can still hear it. Will, are you ready to say good night?
Good night.
All right.
So you have anything else you want to say?
Mr. Treese, it was just a pleasure. That's all.
You too, man.
And I look forward to hearing from you many in the near future.
As soon as this album is done, I'll definitely make sure I hit you guys off with the first single that's coming out. I'll make sure you guys one of the first ones to get it.
Please do. Please do.
Guess what? I'm gonna make sure that it hits our first Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and back to Tuesday again. I promise you. You know.
Matter of fact, I have a single that I will. It should be done soon. It's not even gonna be on my album. It's actually I did it with another guy named Andrew Love called Why. It's about everything that's going on right now. We mentioned George Floyd's name in it. Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland. It's one of those type songs. It's called Why. And basically why are these things going on? But it's a powerful song, real powerful song. I'll make sure you guys get it.
Definitely, we will definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much, and we will make sure that we let everyone know the premiere of Why, because right now, wait a minute, when did you write that song?
A couple weeks ago. What happened was I did the music, and the guy Andrew Love wrote the first part of the song, and then it was just going to be him. And I listened to it, and I said I got to get on this, so I wrote the second half of the song, but I did all the music.
Amazing, amazing. That's wonderful. And it's a question that we're all asking. It's a question that we're all asking, why? Before we came on the show on CNN, Brianna, they were
We
talking
mentioned her
about
name too. We
they were
mentioned her
talking
name in it.
about how she was shot and was still alive, but not attended to. And she was alive for no more than 5 to 6 minutes. So it's even to the point that you didn't even feel her life was worth even after you shot her by mistake or whatever, you didn't feel as though her life was worthy enough to even try to save her and correct the mistake.
Yeah, like I said, this song I have, it's a powerful song. I'll make sure. Matter of fact, when we get off here, I'll send you a rough copy of it, so you can hear it. It's pretty much done, but I'll send you the rough version of it, so you can see what I'm talking about. It's a powerful song, and I expect it to do big things.
I really, really appreciate it. When I tell you I appreciate it, I really do appreciate it. And we look again, we'll look forward. We would definitely look forward to playing it. Wow, that really touched my heart. And yeah, I just want us to understand we got to do better. We got to do more. We just got to do it. And talking about doing it, I think my kids are now playing with my music. I'm going to kill them. I think they're playing with my music because I'm trying to end the show, but they keep playing with my music. I think they're upstairs playing on my Spotify. See, that's what happens when you're the main person. Oh well. Again, here we go. So or maybe it's just that we have to play the masterpiece. I don't know. Well, anyway, again, thank you for taking the time to come on the show. Know that you are appreciated. Know that you are loved.
Yes.
And we will definitely be supporting, and you will definitely be hearing from us as we will be hearing from you. So again, everybody that came through on the No BS Duo Show, again, we can't do this without you. So we appreciate you being here. So
And I thank you both for the opportunity and the platform.
Hey, we can't have the platform without you. So we appreciate you too. Yes. All right.
Thank you.
So obviously my kids are not gonna let me play my music tonight. So yeah, I guess it's gonna be one of those moments where I can't do our song. I'm feeling some type of way about that. No, we gotta have our song. We can't end the show if we don't sing our song. We gotta sing our song. Our song gotta come on. It gotta come on. It gotta come on. I gotta do the mommy. I gotta do the mommy scream right now. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Say goodnight, Will.
Good night again, Mr. Trees. Well, and thank you for coming through on the No BSDUO Show.
Thank you. Like she got to sing it by herself.
All right, so I'll sing it. I've been playing it all the time, right? Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Now look at that. There you go. Look at it. There you go.
To go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, whoa, good night, sweetheart. Good night.
Night, everybody.
Good night, sweetheart. Well,